Welcome to Bit Investment Channel. This video, I will interview a team that developed elastos, and he is in the backstage already. Now, I would like to say hello to my guest. Uh, First of all, I would like to say thank you to you, Mr. Clarence, right?
Yes, Clarence. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. I heard about your project long time ago, and I would like to understand exactly what your project do and how far from the original white paper that you offer to the crypto space.
Yeah.
Before we go to the topic, I would like to introduce yourself, and I would like you to uh, a, your background before you go to the team. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sawasdee krap. Like I was saying earlier, my wife is Thai, so I've been married 5 years with her. So I know about Thailand, Bangkok very well. Traveled all over the place.
Oh,
So
really?
it's great to be here. Yes. First of all, my background is I'm a software engineer. I've been working at Elastos for over 2 years now. Now I'm in the business development role, so less technical now, but I still have a technical background. And then at Elastos, as a VP of development, I handle things like exchanges, technical support for business development, and a little bit of development for the Ethereum sidechain. So we have a EVM-based blockchain for smart contracts, which I'll talk about later on.
Okay, so go to the topic about the elastos project. Can you explain me the short description or maybe long description about the elastos? What is elastos? What is it different with another project? What is the different?
Right. So Elastos is a more complete project than other blockchains. For example, we have storage solution, we have a smart contract solution, we have a peer-to-peer communication layer. We also have an app that you can find in the Play Store right now, and soon in the iOS store, which will coming out very soon on the Apple. So it's more of a vertically integrated platform. Whereas compared to other projects, usually you might see that, oh, they only do smart contracts, or you have only storage like Filecoin, right? So we also are integrating with all these projects. So one of the most recent news is there's now a new project called Fill.io, which is an alliance between Filecoin miners in China and Elastos. So we try to build everything, and we try to work with the best partners that we can find. So we also, work with the Ethereum sidechain, EVM.
Okay, I think it has a lot of projects that you try to integrate. I will ask you about the ecosystem later, but I would like to know exactly what is the mission and vision of the elastos project. What you want to be and why it exists in the world.
Yes, definitely. And I know your question will come later, which is about how far we came from the white paper. And I really like that question because I haven't been asked that a lot. We have changed a lot because we started in 2017. Some quick numbers, we have about over 70 engineers. So it's a very big team that we have. We have multiple teams all over the world. And we also have over 50% of Bitcoin's hash rate. So it's a lot of hash rate. Like over half of Bitcoin miners do actually mine Elastos. So our hash rate is way higher than Bitcoin Cash or BSV. Most other chains were probably number 3 or number 4 in terms of hash rate security. So most people don't know that, but it's a lot of hash rate. That's because we partner with Bitmain and we merge mine with Bitcoin. So what that means is Bitcoin miners can mine elastos and Bitcoin at the same time for no
really?
extra power. Yes, right. So that's the merge mining. So most of the merge miners actually, Bitcoin miners do mine elastos. People just don't know that, right? So we started off, as a very big team, very big project. We launched a large token sale in 2018, right? So the real vision that started was with our founder, Rong Chen. He wanted to build kind of a walled garden, an ecosystem for dApps that was complete. And, I think everyone knows what a VPN is, right? So it's like a VPN, like a walled garden where only the apps inside use the services that we built that are more trustworthy and more secure. So that was his vision. And within this walled garden, it'd be easier to secure things like, your digital assets, right? And allow you to protect that, anything that you create. So like music, movies, arts, NFTs, things like that could be more securely protected because we have kind of our own ecosystem. And we're still building that now. Things have changed. A lot of new technology has come in now, right? So, and we also have to realize that, we can't build everything ourselves. So that you'll see that, we're partnering with Chainlink, we're working with Filecoin. There's some other cool projects in the background that have been started and stopped, but I'll talk about that later.
Are you still fun to do working with the team and doing the project to go to like you aim in the mission?
Oh yeah, it's still very fun. I think a lot of the problems haven't really been solved yet, right? Like for me, we have also like a DID side chain. So that's like identities. So to put your identity on the blockchain, that still is very difficult, right? We also have a special blockchain just for identities called the DID sidechain. So we have a long way to go, I would say, to actually. We're not even done developing. I think we'll be done developing early next year. I think things would be at a very polished state, and then we'll have to build on top of it the actual dApps that really work with the real world. So the real world adoption still needs a lot of work. So it's still very exciting.
The audience asked me about the Thai subtitle. ต้องบอกอย่างนี้นะครับว่าขออภัยวันนี้จะไม่ได้มาแปลเพราะว่าเนื้อหามันจะแน่นมากเดี๋ยวพี่สัมภาษณ์เสร็จแล้วเดี๋ยวพี่จะมาสรุปเป็นอีก1วิดีโออีกทีนึงเนาะต้องขออภัยนะ Okay, another question. I really interested with your project, but I'm not sure about the value proposition that you would like to offer to everybody, and what is your problem statement that Elastos aim to be solved?
Well, there's two problem statements, I guess, right? In one angle, you have to realize that we're still like a developer platform. So making a better API or platform to build on is something that people won't see, but that's still one of our main problems we want to tackle. Because right now, like when I write a dApp on Ethereum, I have to use IPFS for storage, and I have to use Ethereum for smart contract. I have to use another layer 2 solution to make it faster. I have to use Uport or Sovereign for identity. So I have to use all these different pieces. So it's not very well integrated. So that's one thing that we're trying to solve, right? On the other end, for the actual people, the actual apps that come out, that will be not really related to elastos. Like eventually, we do want blockchain to be kind of hidden, right? We don't want to. People don't care about blockchain. We know that, right? People don't understand blockchain. In order to really get blockchain out there, we have to create really good apps. So if you look at the Elastos app, you can download from the Play Store on Android if you have an Android phone. You can see we have really cool apps in there like DID Assist and Vouch. We have a new Twitter. It's like a decentralized Twitter called Feeds. And these are all much more secure and privacy preserving. So like that's one of the main things is privacy, right? So I think not just Elastos. Everybody's working on trying to own your own data or take back control of your data, right? We don't want Facebook with our data. We don't want Google to have our data. Everyone's working on this problem, and also we are as well.
Mm-hmm. I heard you say about the you like analogy the elastos ecosystem like a garden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A walled garden. We call it like a VPN.
walled
I think a VPN is a better idea. Like it's kind of like a VPN, right? We have our own communication network called Carrier with over like 200,000 nodes now, so that your DApp can talk directly to another DApp without some central server. So that's very decentralized. So that's kind of like that garden that we wanted to create, which we're still working on. But
okay, and I would like to know the whole ecosystem of the elastos. You say it has a file system, it has a DApp. Can you explain me about the whole ecosystem?
yeah, sure. I mean, so for any application, you need a storage, right? You need a database, which is actually the smart contract.
Yeah.
Sidechain, and then first of all, sorry, Elastos is multi-chain, so we have multiple blockchains, similar to Polkadot but a bit different. So we have a separate blockchain for smart contracts, which is based on the Ethereum. We have another blockchain for identities, which is based on DID, which is decentralized identifier. Which is a W3C specification. So it's a bit complicated, but Microsoft built this, right? So it's a global standard. W3C, you know W3C, right? The Web3 consortium created a standard with Microsoft, IBM. Everybody uses it. Even Ethereum uses it. So it's a blockchain specifically built for identities, right? So storage, of course, the communication network that we have, right? And then we have our main blockchain, which kind of underpins everything. And when I say underpins everything, it provides the security. It's the foundation. So at the very bottom is the Elastos main chain, and that is merge mined with Bitcoin.
Yeah. Oh,
right. So that's where the Bitcoin, 50% of Bitcoin's miners provide the hash rate for the Elastos main chain, and then this security is then shared with the rest of the ecosystem. So it's a very secure system, and then it kind of runs or relies on the Bitcoin ecosystem, believe it or not.
And clearly, it still has a miner mining the main chain.
Yeah.
And I saw you mentioned about the proof of stake. What chain that use a proof of stake?
Oh, so we're hybrid. It's pretty complicated. So let me slow down again. So what actually happens is we have so you have Bitcoin at the bottom, and then you have Elastos main chain. So these two are merged mined, and then with the Elastos ELA token, you can stake and vote for. We have a DPoS pool, a POS pool of nodes. Can I actually share my screen here? Because I think
sure.
It might actually be cool if I can actually just so you can see my screen now, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Let me show you here. This is actually probably better. Can you see?
Yes, but let me take a layout. How can I take the layout? Okay.
Did it break?
Actually, I'm not sure why the layout. Okay, I saw you, but it's too small.
It's too small, right? Okay, here it is.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
Here, this is bigger?
Yeah, better.
So you can see that right now we have 49.45% of Bitcoin hash rate, which is still pretty high. Sometimes it goes up to 60%. And if you look at the miners, so you can see that Huobi pool, Ant pool, BTC top, all of these Bitcoin mining pools mine elastos too. So we're very secure. We have a lot of that built in. We also have a super node network with bigger, so we have about 90, I think 90, how many? 84 nodes that form the DPoS network. So we vote for these. So you can see that they're voted, and then they actually pay back to people who vote. So just by voting and holding ELA, you can stake and get constant rewards, about 5% per annual rewards. So I'll stop now.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a DPoS network on the top that's being voted by the ELA main chain. And then that DPoS network is used to provide consensus for the Ethereum or Ethereum sidechain. So that the smart contracts. So the smart contracts use DPoS. So it's much faster. If you use POW Ethereum, it's too slow, right? So we use the DPoS for that.
Okay. To solve the problem about the speed.
Yes.
And you have a sidechain already, right?
Yes. So you can even go look. We have our own Explorer. So it's 100% compatible with Ethereum. So same smart contracts. So the same dApps that run on Ethereum can run on Elastos. We can port them over or make a copy. So that's pretty easy. And we're also building bridges that you can move the token, similar to how you can move Bitcoin now to Ethereum. You can also move ELA to Ethereum soon, or move the ERC20 token to Elastos in the future.
Okay. Where is my question?
I think you want to ask about DeFi, right? That's the next question.
Probably. Yeah. I would like to know about the DeFi, because DeFi is quite famous right now. Everybody is looking to the yield that's so high in the DeFi space. Elastos is ready for DeFi, or you prepare like a DeFi project?
We're moving very fast because we have the Oracle integration now with Chainlink, and then we're building their bridges right now, and we're also working with Filecoin, which is also another way that you can generate a yield by lending ELA or FIL to the miners and then getting interest back as well. So we'll be creating our own unique DeFi systems. It's called FILDA.io, so you can look that up. That's the newest project that we have, the DeFi project. But yeah, because we're Ethereum compatible, most of the same things work on our side. We won't copy everything because that's pointless, right? It works well on Ethereum, but we'll make our own unique yield farming DeFi dApps on Elastos. And then people might say, okay, well, what is yield farming, right? Yield farming is people just move assets around wherever the yield is the best, right? So if we make a really good, yield farming on Elastos, they might just use the bridge and move their assets to Elastos, and get some yield from Elastos. And if Elastos isn't something better on Ethereum, they might move back, right? They can move anywhere they want.
Okay. I'm not sure about the decentralized exchange for Elastos, because the key thing that I must say, the key thing that defined boom, because the important thing is the stable coin. Another thing is decentralized exchange. I'm not sure in Elastos these two things is ready for users to use it.
Not ready yet, but we are building it. So we are building a money market similar to Aave, so that we can have a stable coin. We already talked to MakerDAO, so they're letting us build the bridge to bring DAI to Elastos. So pretty soon on Elastos, we'll have our own version of DAI that you can use as a stable coin. Because we know you need that, because nobody wants to invest a volatile token, because the token might go down. Doesn't really matter if you make yield, So you need a stable coin, definitely.
Okay. I saw you in the CR regions, right? I'm not sure about the CR region. What is CR regions, and what is the governance model that manage the CR regions?
Yeah. So the government's model is Cyber Republic. That's what CR stands for. So CR, Cyber Republic.
Cyber Republic. Okay.
Yes. Elastos is already very decentralized. Actually, on the Elastos main chain, I think it's similar to Neo 3.0. I think we're faster than Neo. They wanted to put governance on the main chain, right? So, so same with Elastos. On the actual main chain, you can actually run the DAO and submit proposals. So if you go to cyberrepublic.org, you can see that anyone can propose a project, and then they can get money for the project if people vote yes. So we have a council that's elected every year. It's very complicated. Basically, yeah, we have a council of 12 people. They're elected every year. They can be impeached too. And then anyone can submit a proposal if they sign it on the blockchain, and if we get accepted, then they get the money, right? So it's a proper DAO, and it's built directly into Elastos, right? So then that DAO, the problem with the DAO nowadays is, I mean, it's still not a legal entity, right? It's still virtual. But to do real business in the real world, you can't just have a virtual entity. So you need a real entity. That's why I set up CR Regions. So which CR Regions is a proper Hong Kong company. So in case a company wants to work with us and sign a partnership deal or sign an NDA, then I can actually sign with them. Because otherwise the company can't sign with Cyber Republic, because they'll be like, well, what is Cyber Republic? The governments don't work with that, right? So I think that's something that Lassos is trying to push the boundaries of how do you operate in the new world where you don't have these legal entities. But honestly, I think that the government's moving very fast. Now I think in Vermont you can have a legal DAO.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. So in the US, in Vermont, there's something called the BBLLC, so blockchain-based LLC. So you can actually now go take your blockchain DAO and go to Vermont and register as a real company. But it's very interesting because this company wouldn't have like a CEO. It will have the blockchain is the CEO, right? It's voted. It's very funny, but at least they're doing it, because I think that's something that we have to really move towards. Because like for us, like we couldn't sign any agreements. Like if you want to work with a company, they want to sign a contract with you. It's more important for us, because if a project says they're going to do something and we give them money and they don't do something, if there's no contract, they just run away with the money. We can't sue them. We can't do anything, right? So you kind of do need that real world entity.
I would like you to explain the foundation or the basic for the DAO, because if someone so new in the crypto space, they don't understand what is DAO. Can you explain a little bit about the DAO?
Oh, that I think it's better. I'm sure you know what a DAO is. I think it's better just to you write in Thai, exactly how a DAO works. But DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, right? So it's like a government where the laws are run by robots, if you can imagine that, right? So instead of, it kind of doesn't work sometimes, right? Because if you write the laws the wrong way, the robots will always enforce it, right? So if the Constitution, like for the USA, was written poorly, which was written fairly well, right? But if there was a problem, you can't just change the rules anymore. So that the robots enforce the law. But actually, there are ways. What they have is a voting mechanism to fix it. I really don't think we have time for getting really into DAOs, but just it's like a in government, like a robot run country, basically.
Just a basic. That's fine. Okay. So I would like to know that I'm not sure you already answer me or not about how far from the original white paper that you published from the from the first time since
Yeah.
2017?
No, that's a great question. So I never got asked that, but it's
okay.
actually something that we discuss a lot. We're actually going to come out with a new yellow paper very soon. So that's a teaser.
That's a different yellow from white to yellow.
True. Well, we can't make a new white paper because white paper is usually at the very beginning, right? So we'll have a much more updated paper basically being released very soon. So that's a teaser for you. We haven't told the community, so they'll be the first to hear about that. It's coming out pretty soon though, so I don't think they'll mind us teasing it. But we have changed a lot. So I mean, the original mission is still the same: is to protect your identity, protect your data, and create that walled garden that I talked about earlier, right? That's still the same. The technology has changed. I think that initially you'll see, if you look at the white paper now, the original white paper, you'll see some reference to things like car components, older technology. Now, Elastos actually has been around for about 18 years. Not Elastos, but Rong Chen started to build an operating system about 17, 20 years ago.
Wow.
In China. Yeah, it's a very old project, right?
Wow.
So our roots come from a very long time ago. So there's a lot of code there, secure code that Rong Chen built a long time ago. In China, they were trying to build a competing operating system to compete against Android and iOS, right? And they got a Foxconn invested like 500 million RMB, and they were trying to build that system. So unfortunately, they never finished it, because competition was too strong. But they took a lot of that code and started building. When blockchain came around, they mixed it with blockchain, and that was the original white paper, is to use that code and blockchain to build a really secure system. But now we kind of found out that the real blockchain ecosystem that we're building is not going to be on a phone anymore, right? It's now become this network operating system that we're building. So there's not going to be an last OS phone anymore. And there won't be the car components, because the car component is like a low level on the hardware app. And you can't actually run car component applications. Google won't allow you to run it on the iPhone, on the Android phone, and Apple won't let you install it either. So what we had to basically step away from that idea and focus more on IoT. So, a Raspberry Pi can run these components. That works, right? But you won't get it on a phone. So, Raspberry Pis do work. So we have this new project called ELA Box and Elastos Hive that have, Raspberry Pis. So that's gone in a different direction. But at the end of the day, we've basically taken a step higher now into the network level. And it's almost the same as everybody else too now, unfortunately, right? You can't really have an Elastos phone anymore. So it's still going to be dApps. A lot of companies, we have the Elastos application. Inside, you can have capsules, which is kind of like our walled garden that we've created. But even that has issues, because a company wouldn't want to have their app inside another app unless the app was very successful. It's like, Line apps, right? In Line, you have lots of little apps, right? So Line is very popular. So a company would love to have their app inside Line. But unfortunately, Elastos isn't that popular yet. So right now, they don't want to have their app inside Elastos as a capsule, because then you have to download Elastos first, right? They want their own app. So we've kind of had to step away from the walled garden. People don't want the walled garden sometimes. Like, it's, for some people, they want it. Some people, they don't want it. Some people just want to directly use the Elastos services and blockchain without being stuck inside this walled garden. So, we have to definitely, expand our vision.
Okay. Yeah. So, what you gonna do next from now on? What is your plan to release in the short term, long term, and medium term? So
the short term is definitely to polish the developer experience so that it's easier to develop the apps. Like I said, we want storage and identity and smart contracts all in one very simple to use API. That's all Elastos. So you won't have to, like I said, mix and match different technologies. Everything's very simple and consistent, right? The long-term vision definitely is to have Cyber Republic, the DAO, take over Elastos. So, right. So Elastos, the DAO, initially we had 16 million tokens, and they burned 80%, but we still have a fair number of tokens left. A few million tokens left in Elastos to keep building the ecosystem. So hopefully the plan is that once the system is launched, that we can stabilize the tokens inflation. So right now it's inflation, 4% inflation. So we do want to actually finish developing, stabilize the ecosystem, and then hopefully be able to fund building out the project in the future through the DAO.
And for the long term, it still have the new thing, still follow the yellow paper, or you gonna have the new thing that you think it will be like bring the new value proposition to the user?
Well, the new thing is really just the dApps that are coming on top of it, right? I think Elastos as the platform is just going to be finished.
For the community to create new thing and throw it in your ecosystem. I'm not sure how big with your team right now, because from the original that you told me it's around 770. The team still big, or
still
your team?
Still very big. And then also the teams will be funded by Cyber Republic in the future. So we'll actually move the funding from more. We're already decentralizing. So we actually have, like, CR Regions is a team. We have a new team called Tomb Tech. We have a Trinity team. So all these little, all the teams that all used to work under Elastos Foundation already have started their own companies, basically. And we'll have more in the future. That's the whole point.
I saw it's the term enterprise in the CR region website. I'm not sure what you propose for the enterprise user to use the Elastos.
Oh yeah. So one of the things about Elastos is really great for enterprise is that we do have 50% or over 50% Bitcoin's hash rate. So taking one step back, though, I have to first say that as a BD person, when I work with enterprises, mostly they like private blockchains. There are only a few use cases where an enterprise wants a public blockchain. Usually it's because they need transparency. So if they do something in the public, which is like a voting system, a referral system, things like that, with this trust, they need to show that they're not doing anything funny, then they can use a public blockchain. And in those cases, I think Elastos is a very good option because we have all that Bitcoin hash rate. Because it's not unacceptable for POS is dangerous, right? Because you don't know if 10 years down the road, you build an amazing dApp, an enterprise dApp, and then there's collusion. 66% of the people get together and they do whatever and they break the whole system. You can't really trust that. I mean, we still trust Bitcoin the most, right? Bitcoin has been running, it still works. POS, it's still dangerous because I think humans tend to have a tendency to be greedy, and eventually people might be able to break DPoS just because people can collude. So I mean, we do have definitely. There's a new aim for CR regions to target enterprises. The identity service, like we said, like the DID sidechain, is well suited for enterprise identity use cases.
I saw you have the partner, and if I would like to be your partner, or some organization would like to be your partner, how can I do it to be your partner?
So right now, actually, Elastos Foundation is not doing any more partnership. CR regions can do a partnership. But to be honest, like we're not really looking for partnerships anymore, right? We're just looking for new projects. So like Filecoin, like the way the Filecoin is working with us is we made a new alliance called Filda, right? But they didn't have to partner with Elastos or anything like that. Just come and build, because we're a public blockchain, right? We're totally open. Anyone can run a node, anyone can connect, anyone can do whatever they want on our platform.
Okay, I understand a lot with your project. If I do this my own research, I think I can take 1 or 2 weeks to understand your project, but you summarize everything in just within 1 hour. Actually,
I think I've barely scratched the surface too. I mean, there's so many apps right now. We have a hyper app, a new messenger app coming out soon. So remember, I said that we have over 200,000 nodes. So this will be a real peer-to-peer encrypted private chat coming out. We have, like I said, the Twitter feeds. Definitely encourage anyone to download the. It's still not done yet, but the Elastos application in Play Store. We have a lot of new stuff coming out on that too. Like the ability to verify your identity, the ability to use the Twitter and things like that.
Okay, Thai audience joy and has some chat. CMOS, he talked to us. He waiting for us. And Techno มัวคันเทพบอกว่าสวัสดีครับวีรพงศ์สวัสดีครับมัวคันเทพบอกไม่มีซับไทยเหรอไม่มีนะครับวันนี้แล้วก็ BD บอกว่า YouTube มาแล้ว Nick Kaiser Elastos is everything just a short description, but you describe everything that we talk in this session. Elastos is everything. Yuthapong say good to know Elastos ครับ Lucas asks us about is it like sushi? I'm not sure. He said no, not like sushi. ลูคัสบอกว่าดีครับรีบจัดไปทวัชชัยพงกระโทกบอกสวัสดีครับokay, everybody, I think he not familiar in English. I will translate what we talk together in the next video, and today I think it's no more question. From the last one, I would like you to leave some message about the CR region or from the Elastos to the audience around the world or in specific in Thailand.
Yeah, maybe a message for Thailand. I think with the I guess with the protest stuff I do hear about, like I said, my wife is Thai, so she's very she's definitely very happy to see that students actually taking a stand for democracy and things like that. And the Elastos blockchain is about empowering people to connect globally. Right now, even we still have all these borders, and I think with blockchain now I can send money anywhere I want, right? But still we have a long way to go. For example, like our passports, our credit scores. Like one thing is, I can't take my credit score from Canada or USA and go to Thailand and just open a bank account and borrow money. But that's silly because it's 2020, right? If you can prove you have digital assets on the blockchain, then you should be able to go to another country and apply. And I know a long time ago when I was trying to get a tourist visa for her family to come here, they have to look at your bank accounts and all these things. It's very, very hard to get that tourist visa and things like that. But with blockchain, if we get these things on the blockchain, your identity, your bank accounts, your credit score, prove that you're a trustworthy person. And if the governments get on board, hopefully a lot of things can be way more easier to globalize and share ideas and thoughts and travel. So I mean, I'm not just Elastos, but I think blockchain is important for the future.
Totally agree, and I hope I'm gonna see that someday.
Well, we're working on it.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. I got a lot of information that I would like to know about the Elastos. Thank you so much.
Yep, great. Thank you for having me.
bye สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ